Welcome to this edition of Stock Market Pulse. My name is Eric, and today is Wednesday, 4/20/2016. We're doing the video after the bell today. I want to cover a couple things. So first, I want to look at just kind of the daily chart of the S&P, and you can see on my charts I have two charts up here. I have a daily chart up here, and down here I kind of have a 4-hour chart that I use more for entries and exits and things, but I like to look at the bigger time frame. And I want to look at the daily chart first. A lot of time I'll use the weekly chart up here, but I want to just point out we're obviously nearing, all-time high resistance. We're definitely overbought, but we actually still have a little bit of room to run. So the next couple of days I think are going to be critical for the market for the next week or so. And the reason why I say that is you got a couple things going on. So first, if we look at the weekly chart, and we can see that we're kind of nearing our upper Keltner channel band. A lot of times the bands sort of, act as support or resistance area, and then, 90 something percent of the time the market trades inside these bands, and we're actually right at the band right now. But I want you to sort of imagine what could happen the next couple days. So first, if we were to pull back the next couple days, you're going to end up with sort of a weekly candle that's got a topping tail. And I think that's going to be significant heading into the end of the month. And, I haven't really seen it too much yet, but you're probably going to see a lot of sell in May and go away. You get all that stuff. And it's really, to be seen if that's going to be happening. But I just want to kind of, envision what this candle could look like. A topping tail up here, I think, is a little bit more significant, and a pullback back down to maybe 200, which is approximately 2,000. We're basically right around 2,100 on the SPX, and we could pull back to 2050, right, 205 or 200 here. So I want to sort of keep that in mind over the next couple days. So one way I'm potentially looking to play this is some out of the money credit spreads. If we kind of put in a topping tail in the next couple days on the weekly chart, then I would sell some out of the money May credit spread. So I've got 30 days left, and I come in here and we could do some 214, 215, something like that. So we'll have to price those out. But that's kind of what I'm looking at the overall market. But what I do want to focus on now are a couple ways you can play this trend. Obviously, right now the trend is up, but there are different stocks that are going down. So I'm trying to stay balanced, and I want to look at financials. So first of all, I want to look at the Xlf Financials reported, and a lot of the stocks are going higher despite the dollar sort of dripping lower, but financials are sort of have a kick up. We look at the weekly chart. The weekly DMI oscillator is moving up, so that's positive. We've kind of broken out of this range. So overall financials are on the move upwards. And I want to sort of show you a technique that I've been using over the past few weeks on just entries and exit with long trades. The trend is up. We had a little bit of, maybe 3 weeks ago we were kind of questionable, but the trend kind of moved back up when we traded sideways. But if we look at JP Morgan, this was the one that had a big earnings. And here's how I'm playing it. I don't play it before earnings, but if we look down here, the 4-hour chart, here earnings was reported, and the next day we had a gap up. And when I look at my little reversal signals here, I honestly don't want to short this. The trend is up. If we look at JP Morgan with weekly charts going up, it was even going up during the week of earnings, but the trend is up, and I'm really just looking for the next buy entry. The last one was, and this is a 4-hour chart, so there's 2 candles per day, and this was around 62 and change, and it's pretty much been going up ever since. Okay, so the next down or sell signal is where you'd want to take profits, or maybe you want to, sell a call spread. If you're buying calls, you could sell a call spread against it and sort of stay in it, if you will. Or if you could just use a 2-bar trailing stop. It really just depends on how you want to trade this. So I think this is great for financials. I'm focused on JP Morgan. They had the biggest positive reaction. You could also look at names like Citigroup. They also had a pretty good earnings sort of move, although they had a weird kind of move afterwards, but you could see that it kind of went up as well. So I'm focusing on JP Morgan right now, but you can obviously enter any of those financials. Bank of America is up over 3% today, so that was kind of interesting. So again, buy signal, you take it up, trend is up, smaller time frame, you're buying. So on the flip side, if we take a look at Netflix, right? What did Netflix do after earnings? The trend is actually down, weekly chart, right? Netflix reported earnings and it tanked. So on this, in this scenario, I'd actually look to short Netflix on the next sell signals. I'm waiting for a down arrow, and I'm looking at a 4-hour chart. And by short Netflix, I don't know how I want to play this yet because I'm sure the options are sort of inflated right now due to the volatility. I may actually just want to sell call spreads. I could, directionally buy puts, but Netflix is sort of known for selling off, gathering some support, and then sort of, making its next move. So I don't want to play. I don't want to play this to the long side. I want to stay on the short side. And I think, given that the market is at such a good resistance right now, that if the market did pull back, Netflix could actually make a move lower with the market. But again, I don't have any signals on that yet. But what I'm just kind of telling you that if you want to stay balanced, look for names that are selling off. The trend is down on the weekly chart. Whatever you use, I use the DMI oscillator, and look for smaller term trades in that direction. So right now, given that the market is so overbought, you might want to get some names on your short list. Netflix is one of them. There's a few other names that, obviously, if you're following any earnings and and stock tanks after earnings, that's when you might want to get in those. So that's all I got for today. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you at the next update.